It is officially that time of year where it's time to start putting in your fall bulbs, and there's quite a few different options when it comes to fall bulb planting. But if you're in a climate where things get cold, you may be confused as to when you actually plant your fall bulbs. Is it before frost, after frost? Do you let them grow a little bit? Do you not let them grow at all? Should you water them? Should you not water them? I mean, the list is truly endless. Today's video, I'm going to give you tips and tricks for determining how to grow your bulb, whether it's garlic or alliums or any sort of other fall bulb that you may be putting in the ground. So let's get into it. So the first rule when it comes to planting bulbs is actually planting after your first frost. You want to plant after your first frost, but before the ground officially freezes. So yes, this does mean, again, your zone does not matter. It is your temperatures that time of year. So some years you may plant your fall bulbs in September, and in other years you may plant them as late as November, depending on where you are and what that season looks like for you. The reason why we plant after our first frost is because we know that the soil will soon freeze after, and it will allow for some root growth, but very little to no vegetable or foliage growth. This is important, whether it's a flower or a vegetable. You want to make sure that little to no vegetative growth happens. Vegetative growth in bulbs in particular is utilizing the bulb storage, which is the fleshy portion, the starchy portion of your bulb. And the utilization of this storage means less energy to get it through the winter months. So while sprouting may not harm the plant, and a small amount of sprouting will still result in flowers and harvests in the spring, it ultimately will affect how big that harvest is or how hardy and strong that plant is when that springtime comes. General rule: after your first frost, before the ground freezes. If you do it after your second frost, you're likely all right. Saskatoon, zone 3, in and around here, first frost has not hit yet. You don't have to plant your garlic yet. You can wait, and I'm still waiting. That's why I'm just carrying this around in my back pocket waiting. So once it hits, it's going in. If you're enjoying learning about garlic, then please hit that subscribe button, share this video, because it does help the channel a ton. Number 2, knowing your wet spots. Well, what I mean by this is knowing where the low spots or the wet spots in your garden are, particularly in the spring. Bulbs are sensitive to rot, and we'll get into other reasons why bulbs will rot and why this affects yields in a little bit. But ultimately, one of the first or the number one reasons why I tend to see bulbs rotting is because they're sitting in water. Now, this can come in so many different forms. For example, if you have a space in your garden that is shaded or doesn't get as much light in the spring, what we tend to see is a melting of snow around that space, and then a soil that is completely frozen or kind of frozen still later into the year. This freezing of that soil surface ultimately means that water will pool in that area and rot the bulb. Despite it not being in a low space, it is a space that is late to thaw and therefore late to absorb the water that is running off or accumulating in that zone. The other would be literally a low spot. If you have a low spot in your garden, it'll accumulate water. That will result in the bulb rotting. So if you can keep in mind where that may be in your garden, please do. One fail-safe here is to do a bit of a mound in that space, as well as putting them in a very sunny spot, famously hot, where things tend to burn space in your garden, and planting them in that area. Now, this rule, it applies some of the time, not all the time, but raised beds and containers. If you are in a particularly cold zone, I would say 5 or less, you really want to watch out for this. If you get a winter that is incredibly cold, which, by the way, based on the weather, the sun, the cooling, I would guess that this is going to be a very cold, very snowy winter. Where I am in particular, I don't know about the rest of the world, but where I am, I think it's going to be cold and snowy. So you want to avoid putting anything in raised beds. Now, if you've been on this channel and you watch my garden tours, you're probably thinking to yourself, Ashley, you put your garlic in a raised bed last year. And I did put in a raised bed last year, but it was because I kind of thought that this was going to be a mild winter, and it turned out to be. But that was definitely a risk. And if it would have gotten really cold, that garlic would have been very much so just frozen within it would just been frozen. It would have been done. And the reason why garlic or bulbs don't do well in an environment that completely freezes is because the starch portion, the storage portion, while it is resistant or pretty darn good at handling a little bit of coolness, when it freezes past a certain point, the water molecules get bigger and they bust out of their cell. This busting out of the cell just really distorts every portion of that plant and ultimately kills it off entirely, turns it to mush. So if you've ever noticed mushy bulbs in the spring, this is usually a sign of A, you have too much water sitting in that area, or B, things were getting just way too cold to support them long term. Bulbs have zones, and the zone ultimately has to do with the survivability of the bulb in said zone. So that's why you would always purchase bulbs in your zone. It's not the foliage that needs that heat or that length of growing season. It's actually the bulb, the ability for that bulb to withstand freezing at the depth that they're in. Which brings me into my next point, which is depth. Now, our soil freezes where I am to about the 9-foot mark. The temperature in which it freezes varies depending on the depth in which you go. Obviously, the surface is going to be the coolest, but not always. If you have a lot of snow cover, it could go a little bit higher. But ultimately speaking, the size of the bulb is how you determine the depth. I often see people say tulips go at this depth, garlic goes at this depth, whatever the case is, alliums go at this depth. But what you really want to look at is the size of the bulb. General rule is that you want to plant the bulb at a depth that is 3 times the width of the bulb. So what you want to do is you actually want to analyze the width of the bulb. So I would say I wouldn't get too crazy about this, but like you could go this way, you could go this way, you could just don't go this way. Just the fat side or the fat side, if that makes sense. And you want to go to the depth of 3 of these. So I just line it up on my finger. It's, 1 knuckle depth and then 2, 3. So I want to make sure my pointer finger is totally sunk, and that would be the depth in which I would plant the bulb. What I would encourage you to do before you just put the bulb in place is actually softening the soil up around that. Now, it's going to compact with snow. It's going to compact if dogs or children or humans are walking across that in-bed ground place in particular, but that's a general guideline. The second thing is actually you want to reduce or not at all water that space if possible. Let the ambient rain do its job. Let the freeze thaw of snow do its job. Don't purposely water. Watered soil, particularly soil that's been watered in the fall, tends to compact incredibly easily. So if you have a lawn where you're like, man, my lawn is so hard all the time, by the time spring comes, it's probably because you're walking on it when it's watered, or you're putting weight on it when it's waterlogged. Water does not have the ability to keep your soil porosity. It literally just squishes it out entirely and turns it into a total hard pan. So one of the best ways to ensure that this is not the case is actually ensuring that you don't water in and around that plant. Which leads me to a next point. Bulbs are sensitive to fertilizer. If you were to choose planting a bulb upside down versus putting that bulb in direct contact with fertilizer, I would choose planting the bulb totally upside down, which actually doesn't affect that much. But the point I'm trying to get across is that bulbs in direct contact with fertilizer long term, before they're able to really utilize that, which is several months before they can utilize that fertilizer, or before they even want to utilize the fertilizer. Keep in mind, they have this whole storage vessel that they're going to use before they grab on the fertilizer. And so ultimately speaking, fertilizer can burn the bulb, it can burn the roots, it can cause a lot of stress, it can cause growth that tends to be really soft in nature. So things like aphids and thrips tend to colonize and really destroy plants that are over fertilized. So that is one reason why you just wouldn't simply add fertilizer to that space. Now, when the plant is established and you are seeing quite a few leaves on it, then of course you can add fertilizer. So in the case of alliums or garlic, you may want to consider adding things like sulfur. It tends to benefit those plants. In the case of things that have flowers, you may want to consider things like calcium or phosphorus or potassium, magnesium, things that help with color and vigor of flowering. So things to consider. I would top dress in the appropriate time frame when it's needed, and or incorporate into the soil, upper soil zone, without disrupting the roots or the bulb after you get some growth on it, which would be literally spring, early summer of 2024, not right now in the fall of 2023. But that's all I have for you guys on planting bulbs, whether it's flowers or garlic in your garden, and some tips you may want to think about if you are fall planting, which is the best time to plant. I'm going to be doing a video on seeds you can actually plant, pre-plant. Yes, it's a real thing, and some of them may actually shock you here in the fall to just really speed up your spring seeding or planting process. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, because sharing is caring, comment, and I will talk to you next time.